Everybody, Gerone Wright here, and once again you're joining me on my Gerone Wright YouTube channel here on YouTube. In this video I'm going to be discussing a discovery that I made a week or so ago regarding this island or sea stack or whatever you want to call it, and it's off the Flannan Islands, outer Hebrides, Scotland. Okay, so this mass here, this massive rock, which I found to have carvings on, and in fact the entire island depicts an overall megalithic carving of itself when both halves are put together, meaning a reflection made into the water, which is another discovery that I must actually include in this video. Thanks to the help of my friend Chris, that actually lives in the England area. He was passing pictures back and forth to me, and he knows that I have a mirroring tech named Mike that mirrors images. So what Chris has realized is that when a reflection is made upon into the water of the second half, it creates a whole, meaning that this half here is half of another image, which creates a full picture which reflects back from the water. Now, having said that, what he actually ended up doing is he sent me a couple of images where he's seen that there were similar areas throughout England that had that same reflective message or hidden message in it, whereas it created like a mirroring effect, meaning that whatever was on the land half was reflected in the sea half, and it created a whole picture. So therefore, I didn't say anything to him yet. He'd probably see this video and realize what we were on to, that it's my position that each one of these areas in and around about the UK, England, all of these areas, probably even globally, I could now imagine, what is happening is that there's a secret dimensional doorway that our ancestors utilized to create megalithic art carvings, which actually created a whole picture, and the other half of the picture, which you were looking at dead on, was one dimension in reality. The second dimension was seeing it in the water, a reflection from the water, meaning that what was on land is a reflected image from what came from the water. And it's a twofold story on how this all occurred, because man evolved from out of the oceanic or water bodies of our world. So therefore, when you see any place that has this symbolic message and a symbolism, or this draw, it has you in awe, saying, well, wow, this is an amazing place. This is a beautiful place. And it feels like there's some type of spiritual connection with you in that place. 9 times out of 10, there's a reflective body image from off the island or off the water, the structure that is neighboring the water body, and it creates an entire picture. And that's an ancient secret that I'm just now releasing here in this video. Okay, it's almost like a mirrored reflection, what you see in the mirror. You hear Micheal Jackson saying the man in the mirror. Well, this reflection, when it is reflected into the water, it creates a true image. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It opens up the dimension. It's a hidden knowledge that our ancestors had. And I'm going to be creating other videos to show you how thanks to the help of Chris, how that secret was unlocked. All right. When I made the video, I said that I found some carvings on here, which I posted. And I stated that there was a guy on here that I discovered. And I said that he looked like he might have been Arab or Arabian because of the way his helmet and his headwear was. Now there's one guy there. I found out that this guy here is wearing almost like a Delphi or the tree of life symbolization, which I'll come back to at another time. I'm going to focus on this guy right here, because I called this guy here as seemingly wearing almost like a helmet with a twist on it of an Arabian. He looked like an Arabian knight or something along that sign. But I said that it looks like it was steel involved, and then there's a flower right there where the hinge should be belong. You see that flower right there? And you see the guy's face, and you see all of this up here, the way it's tied. This has a specific way that this comes around across the forehead. You see that there? Well, I kept seeing that flower. The flower is there, the flower is there, the flower is there, and then there's something off to the front. So, after I created almost 3 or 4 videos, it finally dawned on me where I kept seeing that flower. Why that flower seemed so familiar to me, instinctively and paranormally. Why that flower? And I realized that flower that I kept seeing is here. That flower is tied to the Sumerians. To the Sumerians. And I found other insignias on this mound, on this rock island, which are now linked to what I've described to be Sumerians, are symbols which are linked to that of the Sumerians. This symbol here on the Sumerian, on it almost seeming like the cross, I described it over here as being like a fireman. Hold on. It would be on the front of the island. I have it here. I described it as being like a fireman's insignia from my area. That's what I described it when I made the video, as being like a fireman insignia. And everybody that knows the fireman insignia, it actually has that cross pitch to it as well too. Here's the actual, from my video, how I made it to come out there on the front of that island. Okay, along with all of the other insignias and things that are here. But that, I realized that and the flower are the 2 things that are linked to the Sumerians. Right here and there are carvings that are in here. Not just that. That's only 2 things. The third thing is that, remember when I said that the guy looked like, in my other videos, you can go back to my other videos, where I said it looked like the guy was wearing like an armored helmet with like an Arabian twist on it, like it was a cloth tied into a helmet. Well, what I realized that I was seeing after the fact, again, this is Sumerian, this is identical to that of what I'm describing, because this, people, is reminiscent of a wrapping around the head, but this wrapping, I'm starting to realize, reminds me of that of bull horns, describing specific genes, a specific ancient gene on which these people genetically bridge themselves over. Now, if you come back to that island picture that I have, if I can find it again, because I'm thumbing through my pictures here, the same exact wrapping that I was trying to describe on that head is what is in fact. Now, why do I have, oh, it's right here. I'm sitting up here looking through my picture. This, with that Sumerian that I just showed you, that wrapping across the head that I said it looks like a bullhorn. Where we at? Is right in here. The flower is there. That flower, that Sumerian flower, that Sumerian headdress is here, and there's a soldier. In fact, I might have it. Yeah, I have it labeled soldier. You see that? A Sumerian. This is the head of a Sumerian figure. Now, and then there's that Sumerian flower there. There's one there in the jawline. And then I'm going to make some other connections. And then you have that, what I call the Delphi or whatever that is, that helmet, which is also tied to the Sumerians, which I'm going to show you, which is on that ape there. Okay. I'm going to show you 2 versions of it. Then I'm going to make another connection to this. Is this going to be very, very unique, and you're going to start, it's going to start bringing together a brighter picture of everything that's going on. This helmet, which is also a Delphi or a tree of life or whatever they want to call this thing, I'm seeing this here on the front of this island. There's that Delphi that I was talking, because I described it as a half of a popol's cap, and that's just what this is. It seems to be a half of a popol's cap that I've described it. And there it is here on this guy's head, and there's her face. You see that right there? This is there, which is also linked to the Sumerians. But there's more even yet, people. It gets better. Because I've discovered that everything, this is the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth. I've discovered that everything is represented about this woman, her public appearances, everything that is going on with her, her crown, her hats that she wears, are all linking to symbols that I found to be on this island, and which I've linked to the Sumerian. Look at the symmetry in the rocks up here, on how you can actually, now that I'm pointing these things out, on how you see that this island takes shape. The entire island takes shape. Look at that. You can see symmetry, which creates designs and things in the rock. There even appears to be writings or markings somewhere in along in here there. But I'm gonna I'll come in with another image, but I'm gonna get back to the Queen Elizabeth. This mark right here, this here on the front of her crown, right there, is the same item that I've just described with the Sumerians, which is this right here, and which is on the front of this island that no one has seen until now. On the front of this stone island, right there, is that same symbol, which is on the Queen's crown. But it even actually gets better than that, people. Because this flower on the Sumerian's arm right here, that flower, and his hat, that cap, he has the flower also in his cap right there. The other connection that I make, if you Google the Queen of England, she has the flowers here too, right there. The flowers accompanying that symbol there. It almost reminds me of almost like a cross seemingly, but that symbol and the flower appears here and there. There's the flower and there's that symbol. Now, in all of the Queen's public appearances, if you Google Queen Elizabeth and then go to images, all of her hats have what? All of her hats are reminiscent of this style, and it always has a flower in the side. Spot on, people. This is spot on. The hat and the flower in the side. There's the flower in here on the Sumerian, and the flower on the wrist. The same exact symbolizations, which are also in her crown. The same exact thing. Now it even gets better than that. With the Sumerians, they have this other creature like a lizard, and they call it the Ubaid. Ubaid, they call it. Okay. This creature, the Ubaid, like a snake goddess or something there with the Sumerians. You see that? You see that? Well, in my findings about this island, in my videos, if you look at it, that Ubaid, or I called it the reptilian woman. Now we're going to see if is right here, attaching the reptilian ape. She is here facing a king figure. right here. And she's attaching that reptilian ape that's wearing that Delphi type crown. All of these multi-dimensional images are encoded in the rock, and there's that cross-like symbol again that I described in my first video as being almost equivalent to that of a fireman's symbol, which is exactly the same thing which I've just described to you with the Queen of England. And I'm going to get to some other stuff here. I'm going to change it around here. There's also a lion up here as well, two people, but there's that reptilian, that Ubaid, or whatever they want to call it, that's also mentioned in the Sumerian ancient text history right there. All right, and facing a king, and you see an exchange of an egg there or whatever. Snake woman, that snake god right there on the back of this reptilian ape. Now it gets better than that, because when you turn the island upside down, this is how all of these pieces start to fit together. I have to find something else here. When this island is turned over upside down, like so, a witch-like woman appears. Over here in the corner, I believe, here. Yes. And there's a hat. That hat where I told you that Sumerians, you can even see a face down here too. But that hat where I told you that Sumerian face appears with that flower comes right up into the side of the hat. This is the hat right here. This would be the what you call it, the hat, and this is the brim part here. Here's the hat. That flower where the Sumerians was in the Sumerian jawline of that facial thing that he was wearing that I said, that flower appears right there in the side of the cap, and this skull-like image right here. This is a face wearing this hat. Now I took the liberty of drawing it somewhat in to give you an idea of what we're dealing with, and I'm going to show you exactly where that flower is. There's the hat, there's the flower, there would be the image of a queen's face, and behind it is the skeleton image right there that looks like a monkey with teeth. You see that right there? And I swear to you, it is all reminiscent of that look of the Queen of England today and her Prince Philip. That's what reminds me of what Prince Philip looks like today. The Queen and the Prince. This is what is on the side of that island. Now, if you turn it over, there is a Sumerian soldier. And I guess it's on the first one back here. But if you turn it over, a Sumerian soldier appears here, where there are multi-dimensional images. This is the image, a witch woman wearing a hat with a flower in the side. There's the hat. The people Google the Queen of England. All she wears are these flowers, these caps with flowers on the side. Some type of a bow, a flower. Google. There are hundreds, maybe thousands of pictures of her wearing these different caps in public appearances. And then when she's not, the same insignias are in her crown. Identical to what I'm describing. Now, what am I stating? Is the Queen of Elizabeth+Sumerian? Are they saying that they're from that ancient land from where the Sumerians came from? Ancient Iraq and all this, that, and the third? Well, people, Caucasians, Europeans, whatever you want to call them, Caucasians evolved through everything that came before it. Apes, Africans, Asians, Caucasians, Sumerians, whatever you want to call them. All of these people evolved from a specific group of origins, which evolved from out of the oceanic bodies of our planet into reptilians, into reptilian apes, and then into Africans, before evolving into all of these other cultural groups of people. Caucasians are on the last of that list of created people. And this is why there is no color, based on the fact of this evolution, that they have realized how to genetically alter themselves. And this is how we have all of these lighter versions of these civilizations of people that have came from apes through to Africans and through on to where we are at today. It has always been said that you cannot get white from, you can't get black from white, but you can get white from black. People, I've discovered the secret as to how royal families period, before there was the royal families that we know of today. I'm talking about evolving back into the Africans, the reptilian days of our ancestors that we know nothing about. They knew how to genetically alter themselves, which should not be no secret again to us people, because when you have this hidden knowledge, all of this power and all of this money, all of this hidden power at your disposal, the only thing missing in all of this is longevity, the ability to live forever, the ability to genetically alter yourself. The thing that we see with people and culture groups, all in reality today, the way they physically try to change themselves and alter themselves with so much money. You're talking about Micheal Jackson. You're talking about these alter egos on everybody else. They get these facelifts, these boob lifts, and all of that. My position is that you don't see it happening outwardly with kings and queens and the pope figures and royal figures. You know why? Because they're doing it to themselves inwardly. They have the keys, the secrets to turning themselves genetically into someone else. I'm telling you that Caucasians, Asians, even Africans as we know them today, these people all evolved from out of the oceanic waters of our world, being first, if you want to call them, Atlanteans, before coming into being reptilians, and then Africans. These people all knew it's a genetic evolution of our ancestors. There's a hat there on my thing there that I'm looking at. It's an evolution that evolved from beyond our world into our world through the microbial life of our seas with this intelligence. A book, a code on exactly what to do and how to evolve into what we are today and into the person that is giving you this video today. My mind has been unlocked. It has been unlocked in a way that I have been paranormally, with this experience and encounter, that helped me realize who I truly genetically am and how I came to be. Through this comes this understanding on how I can find all of this. I'm going to do other videos. I have some more stuff here. I'm going to get locked in. Remember when I told you about how the island, if the island is turned up, let me go through some of these. Everything that is Sumerian, I'm believing this here is the same. That flower, the cap, and even in that Sumerian picture where this guy is wearing the cap with the flower in it. The cap with the flower in it. I'm stating that this is a representation, the same exact representation that the Queen of England is discussing, or symbolizing, not discussing, symbolizing in her public appearances with her crown and with all of these little insignias which are in the crown. And when she's not in her crown, people, these people take their history, their bloodlines, their ancient history very seriously. When she's not in her crown, she has her other crown on. She has her cap, her derby like cap, her caps. and it always has a symbol of the flower on the side of it, always, or either a bow that looks like this cross, like a bow with that, or she has the flower. She has either or. Google, and I guarantee you will agree with me. Everything that is here in her crown, I've discovered to be here on this island that they know nothing about, and I found it to be in what came before her with the Sumerians. This is the same cap, and then you have, oh gosh, and then you have the whatchamacallit. I gotta stop this phone. I know. Just when I'm in the middle of making that video, I knew that was going to happen. I got to help him end this video too, because this guy is waiting on me. Anyway, you know what? I'm seeing a monkey on the back of this guy too. You know, tell me if you're seeing a monkey as well too. Back here, on the back of his, now there's the man's face there. Back here, right here, there's the face of a monkey on the back of his helmet there. I'm almost certain that I see. That's encoded into that strap that he's wearing. Let's see if I can draw that out right quick if I close this video out. I'm almost certain that I see. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it because I don't have the right marker here. Well, anyway, people, what I'm driving at with all of this is that the Queen of England is paying homage to what she evolved from and how she was created. And in doing so, I see a monkey's face here in the back of that Sumerians. I did a little bit on the back, in that strap, on the back of that Sumerian strap. I just drew it in some, but right back here on that strap. So if you Google that image, you'll be able to see it. Right there, I'm seeing a monkey on the back, which not be surprising to me because man evolved. The likeness of man came from that creature. So these people just happen to know that. Now you have this guy with this bucket-like cap on his head and then a flower on his side. And lo and behold, all the symbols that is with the queen is with the Sumerians, including that cross, like right there, that symbol, and that flower there, which I've described all on the island. So basically what I'm saying, that this is not no coincidence that this Scotland England island, which has these same symbols on it that I've linked to ancient Sumerians, and then to the queen, this is not no coincidence, because she is the Queen of England. I've made this discovery in Scotland, and these Sumerians, if she's wearing what I'm telling you are Sumerian symbols, and I've discovered that this island to be with Sumerian symbols, showed you a different set. There's even a line, there's lines there and everything else. In fact, this is the one with the line. There's a lion with a ball in its mouth right there. I have it in orange. Let me come in closer. There's a lion right here. If I turn that, let me turn that light up so you get a better picture. There's a lion right there. That blue circle is a ball in the lion's open mouth right there. I'm going to tilt it up, maybe give you a better. I'm on paper here and I'm looking from backwards. Maybe you can see it. I don't know, maybe I'll tilt it back that way. There's a lion with a ball in its mouth. And this whole entire wall here has different things on it, people. So basically what I'm suggesting is that all of this is a representation of ancient Sumerian, which came before them. Which should not, again, people should not surprise you, because This stuff made it into history. Other things that came before these people came into history. So therefore, the reality behind it all, the symbolic message behind it all, the energy and the knowledge. These Sumerians had knowledge. Now these people are stating that they have that knowledge. So it should not come as a surprise to you that I've made this connection. And there is more, but I'm going to keep going with that. So, all right, I'm going to leave it at that. My name is Gerone Wright. I'm going to leave this video with that there, and I have to go on to other things. Thank you. Let me stop this video here.